Halloween is over for this year, but I am going to be creating videos based on your suggestion. One person suggested that I go through and highlight a sketch that I did in my sketchbook and actually talk about what it took to make it, and then give a few tips on what you can do to kind of make your own. This is going to be a highlight video, and obviously this is Jason Voorhees, but that's what we're going to go through. This is a video if you are really into sketching and you're not just into kind of, you know, the usual stuff we do on the channel, which is very, you know, made for pure beginners to draw. This one is a little different. This is for people who are actually into art, are actually into drawing, draw it on their own time all the time as well, and are a little bit more, I would say, intermediate. So that's what this video is for. If you're not that person, I totally understand. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun next few months, kind of experimenting on what it is that you know, you guys value, and what'll really help people that stick around through the middle part of the year. But it's all gonna be horror related. I love horror, or at least horror connected. So let's get into what this is. This is obviously Jason Voorhees. I'll talk about what I used on this currently. What I ended up using. Oh, before anything, by the way, please either like the video so I know that, you know, somebody's watching, and also subscribe if you want to see more similar videos like this. Basically, it's all horror related. So I'm gonna talk about what I used. What I used for this right off the bat. Let's just go over that. I use this. This is a Faber-Castell PITT artist pen. It is a thinner version of what I normally use. I usually use a large, really thick one, which is actually right here. This thing I use for a lot of the different drawings I do on the channel. And yeah, usually for caricatures. I use it for everything. This really huge, fat, right, thick marker. This one is not that. It's thinner, it's quicker, and I actually use it for these black areas. These large black masses. That's literally what I use that for, and extremely useful for that. But it's not so big that I can't control it. This would be too big for something as intricate as this. And then for the rest, I use these microns. These are Pigma microns, and they have a variety of different tips. I use this one. This is an 08, but they sell them in packets. I can link them below as well. I don't know if I should do that because it's kind of weird when I link Amazon links below, but I might do that in this video just because I know some people want to know and want to buy it. But yeah, I'll link it to Amazon. This one, see, I don't even know what number this is. It's extremely thin. Don't know what number this is because it's so worn off. You know, it's been in my bag for so long that the number wore off. And then also to start off everything, I almost always use this. This is just a regular, you know, mechanical pencil. I like mechanical pencils because I never have to sharpen them. And if I know I'm going to ink it, then I always start in just mechanical pencil. I don't really use normal pencil for stuff I'm going to ink. And it would be preferable for you to grab like a big fat like gum eraser or anything like that. I just kind of erased using this, and that's not really recommended, but that's what I do. So Jason Voorhees is one of my favorite characters, and I just wanted like an inking of him. I wasn't going to take it any further than that, but if we're talking about like little aspects of what's going on here, and I actually did a whole Instagram post about this as well. Let me grab another sheet of paper to show you what I'm talking about. So I'll give you one aspect of this drawing, and this will help you in your own drawing. One moment. Where's my... So, if you're looking at the large blacks here, look at the large black masses in his armpits, his right here. So the purpose of the black right here is to actually ground him. When you're looking at any kind of drawing, if you're thinking about composition, especially within something that's only black and white, you don't want it to be too top heavy. This black right here has weight to it, and if you were to put that, let's say I put too much black at the top here, let's say around his shoulders, it might possibly make the image too top heavy. Think of it like a weight. It'll have like too much weight visually. So what I did was I put it toward the bottom, and that's when you see things that are lit, within paintings and in drawings and inkings, they tend to have that as well. It tends to ground it visually. So right here I'm thinking of this like triangle. Has this really dark shape. So this is the base of our, let's say, triangular composition. Right? You have these really heavy darks. So if you were to squint right now, you would be able to kind of tell that it would be kind of like black masses over here, and then it fades, gets a little bit lighter as it goes up, and that just gives it just like a better composition overall. So when I'm making those dark masses, I tend to do it, and I'll do it on another piece of paper. I'll draw it in pencil, right? Let's just say I'll draw. Let's just say, for the sake of conversation, right? For the sake of this example, I mean. And I'm just gonna draw this really fast. Nothing special. Let's say this is like his pant leg or something. Ooh, I don't know why this page keeps popping up. Let's say this is his pant. Whoa. We can do it like this. Let's say this is his pant leg. And I have the shadow on the left side. What I'm going to do with this pant leg, for example, is I'm going to fill in with this large one first. I'm going to start large and then go intricate. I'm going to start going in right here with this Faber-Castell, and I'm gonna fill that in first. So I'm gonna fill the large shapes in first, not backwards, because the tendency when people draw stuff like this is to go right into small shapes. That's actually, I mean, there is no wrong way to do art, but I think generally that's not a good, efficient way to do it, unless you're super experienced. You can do whatever you want. But I would start like something like that with a shape. So all of a sudden you have this readable image, right? And I would wait for that to dry a little bit. So I have this big black mass right there. You have this mass right here of this kind of island shape. And now you would go in and mess with the edges along, because if this is cloth, you would mess with those edges, right, to make them more intricate. I would vary them up after that. So for something like cloth, for example, especially this kind of raggedy cloth, I would start building into that dark shape. And that large framework makes it a stable design, right? But you can make the edges almost whatever you want. But you're gonna make them look more organic, because right now, as is, it was just too stiff, right? If you're drawing like clothing and it's just like, it's like too stiff. But what you wanna do is make it like, again, block it out and then make it real, right? Like real things have variation to it, right? Things like cloth, folds. And this isn't a folding drawing video, by the way, but I'm just kind of going over. You can do this with muscles as well, right? So let me go over another one, another shape. So let's just say I'm drawing like an arm, right? We're gonna just half draw this like arm. Just really quick again to show that example. Let's say it's the top part. Let's say that's his bicep, and that's the shoulder. Okay, again, I'm just blasting through this for the example. And I'm gonna find where my shadows are, and I'm gonna think of them again in big masses first, right? Let's say light source is coming from above. But drawing that arm in. Light is coming from above, but there's still a little bit here on the inside of the arm. Still thinking in large masses. So it's going into the chest over here. Okay, so let's just say you have that arm, right? This is the top of the shoulder. Hopefully that reads well enough. This is the deltoid. This is the bicep. Right here, this is the bicep, and this is the lower forearm. And you have the hand like over here somewhere. So if you have that, well, first thing you're gonna do after that, I would kind of erase the pencil lines that are left, and I have to be careful because, you know, the dark ink I just put in is gonna smear. It just does it. So I have large masses of black that I put in there, but they're stiff, right? They're not organic. How do I make them organic, right? I go in with a smaller micron, whatever micron. Honestly, any micron would work on this. And then I go in and I manipulate the edges of the darks here to fit whatever I'm doing. I'm gonna make it just again a little bit more organic, smooth out edges. Forgive me if this is advanced, by the way. If this is too advanced for you, let me know. Maybe I could make other videos on, you know, trying to simplify this form. If anything else, by the way, if you guys are into this type of drawing, a lot of this stuff is simplified with a teacher. Just to let you know, a lot of this stuff is so much better with a teacher. The teacher could be online. It could be me. It could be somebody else's videos. But it'd probably be better with an actual person looking at your stuff. That's another thing you could do. That's probably the fastest way to get better, is literally having another person look at your things, like another professional look at your things. But if you guys are having issues with that, okay, so hold on, see, well, I'll get to that in a second. But going over here, okay, I'm gonna fix this edge right here. Go the split of the deltoid over here. The deltoid splits into 3. Putting in these lines, and the lines are what makes it make it come to life, really. These kind of organic lines. So again, you create stability with large black shapes, and then what you're doing is you're creating more organic reality with the manipulation that you do. I am gonna go into more about how you can manipulate that for different things, for cloth, as opposed to musculature, as opposed to you know, different forms of the anatomy, your face, all that stuff. I'm gonna go over, you know, just in general. Probably not on the channel. I do go over it a lot on my Patreon. If you are really into this type of drawing, go to my Patreon. I'll link it below. I put out a lesson every like 3 days or so. I'll put out a lesson on how to improve your general sketching, because the art of sketching is so important. All right, I'm gonna put this down here, extend it down, and see, I'm going into the musculature right here, and obviously that's a totally different, you know, totally different lesson, totally different thing. But I just wanted to make one thing clear in this video. What I do right here is that process. I put down large black shapes after the pencil, of course, right? First of all, I pencil it in. But then I put down large black shapes, and I start pulling from those shapes. You can even tell right here in the armpit. Start pulling from those shapes smaller organic things, you know, smaller organic shapes. So the idea is a quick read. If you squint and look at this, is a quick read. Okay, somebody's standing there. And then a small detail would be, you know, a lot of the cloth and clothing and you know, things on the sword and so on. Anyways, that's just a highlight. It's just a small preview of what I do. If you really do like this kind of drawing, you want to learn it yourself, go over to my Patreon and sign up. I'm gonna put that link in the description, and that's it. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Give me some ideas. I will do another highlight of another drawing I might have, but I'll talk to you guys soon.